Chapter 287, 198 Breaking Shackles, Martial Arts are not solitary, my path is not lonely. 6K asking for monthly ticket and subscription, /3. To better break the shackles with an improved mental state. Under Chen Jiu's suggestion, I temporarily suspended the training of the golden body skill, spending each day practicing fists and reading fist theory books, occasionally fishing with Wu Zun, reflecting and summarizing the cultivation journey. According to Qingshan Kang's words, this belonged to the sedimentation phase before becoming a martial artist. This stage did not have a fixed time requirement. Every martial arts practitioner who felt well settled might experience a moment similar to inspiration striking, the instant of sudden enlightenment. That was the best opportunity for a breakthrough. February 22. It had been 2 years since Lu Chenju joined Sioux City Dragon Martial. Qingshan Kang, Jai Xuantong, Li Gui, and Wu Zun, these 4 essential elders of his, had all come. Li Gui asked, "Are you ready?" "All right, I'll wait for you at the door. Call me if you need anything. Oh, by the way, Hong Fu asked me to tell you. He has broken the second shackles and is waiting behind the second door." Hahaha, congratulations to Master Hong. Except for the true inheritor Master Jai Xuantong. The other elders left the practice room, and they chatted leisurely in the living room, waiting. Soon another figure walked in. It was Wang Changaming. "Principal." The others all stood up. Wang Changaming nodded slightly, glanced at Lu Chenju in the living room, and said with a smile, "His condition looks good." He too was worried and took one last look before leaving. The breakthrough of such a prodigy touched the hearts of so many powerful figures. Inside the practice room, Lu Chenju focused his attention on the 30 acupoints within his body. A feeling similar to inspiration coursed through him. Let's begin the first step, acupoint resonance. In an instant, starting from middle QE, one by one, the acupoints lit up like stars in the sky, linking together and culminating at the middle QE acupoint. Then all 30 acupoints buzzed in unison. Lu Chenju looked at his right hand, which could not stop trembling. Jai Xuantong watched silently. He had given all necessary warnings and now refrained from interfering. His job was to spot any accidents and preserve Lu Chenju's life. Although failing to break the first shackle might not lead to instant death, poor protection could potentially lead to acupoints shattering and cultivation damaged. He knew that the medical giants seemed to have developed a great medicine that could protect acupoints during a breakthrough, but it was still in the experimental phase and not ready for application. If successful, it could enhance the success rate of breaking shackles while also mitigating losses from martial artists' failed breakthroughs, giving them another chance to fight. Not everyone received the heartfelt care from elders like Lu Chenju did. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Lu Chenju's right hand trembled faster and faster, his complexion turning purplish, feeling as if 30 sharp swords were mercilessly moving through the palm, ruining his flesh. Crag, crag, crag. Cracks began to appear on Lu Chenju's palm as he braced himself for the renewal of his body post-shackles. Blood started to seep out, quickly staining his right hand red. The membrane of the golden body skill was torn apart, and blood dripped from his fingertips, which connected directly to his heart. This pain caused veins on Lu Chenju's forehead to bulge as he roared lowly, continually focusing on his right hand through his technique, keeping the acupoints resonating. Perhaps due to cross-training, he bled much less than others. It wasn't long before the blood traces on his hand automatically scabbed over. At the same time, the sun-like energy in his groin continuously emitted a powerful force of dragon and tiger's vigor, enhancing Lu Chenju's endurance and revitalizing his spirit. Losing focus and feeling mentally weary were what one feared most when breaking through. Finally, the resonance of the 30 acupoints was complete. Between them, bridges formed, transferring vast mysterious power, transforming Lu Chenju's right hand. The residual power flowed into his limbs and bones, the sand collected by the Zhangzhou acupoint and the yang qi accumulated by the yancha acupoint, the diverse mysterious powers of the 30 acupoints, all merging smoothly. Rivers flowing into the sea. All forces converged into a vast invisible river of qi blood, soaring within Jai Xuantong's perception. Lu Chenju's momentum and visibly soaring qi blood signified he had initially broken the blood shackles. The pool of qi blood within him continually expanded. A quarter of an hour later, Lu Chenju's qi blood was on par with a newly initiated martial artist, with his presence even slightly stronger. Jai Chuntang was overjoyed, thinking to himself, such a strong presence upon entering martial arts training, very good. This presence was no less than his own in earlier years. This young man truly seemed likely to break the second level before he did. With complete concentration, Lu Chenju saw the grand qi blood flow downwards directly, gathering in the qi sea. The innate strength transformed into a golden tiger, skyrocketing and swirling stardust whirlpools. The golden tiger absorbed nourishment and visibly began to swell, increasing its majestic presence. Innate strength has also improved. The second step is complete. Next came the final step, smash that door. Suddenly, Lu Chenju felt as if his spirit had arrived at an endless wilderness with a towering mountain in its center, rising like clouds with the peak unseen. As a lonely traveler, he walked alone through the wilderness, soon reaching the mountain's base. He looked around, spotting numerous footprints along the way. Some were small, others large, some shallow, others deep. The vast majority of footprints vanished after a certain distance. Only a few firm, stable, and determined footprints continued step by step to the door, stopping there. Chapter 288, 198 Breaking Shackles, Martial Arts Not Alone, My Path Not Lonely. 6K, Seeking Monthly Tickets and Subscription, /4. Before him was an old jujube red wooden door, exuding traces of years past. Its surface densely covered in veins, like a door made of flesh and blood, stood blocking the mountain path. In a trance, Lu Chenju saw thousands of indistinct tenacious figures, who with bodies tempered 1,000 times and wills that never faded, smashed through the door, laughing heartily as they passed. Beside his ears, it seemed that countless bold and unrestrained voices arose. Innate realm, at last I have arrived, haha. What constraints, they are nothing. The peak of martial arts, wait for me. Master, your disciple has reached the innate realm. Chief of Tiger King Valley was here. These voices, as if they really existed, transcended the constraints of time and space, like the heavenly heartmark, like the bright moon in the sky, have echoed from ancient times till now. Lu Chenju listened intently, an indescribable power inspiring his body, heart, and will. Boom, the bell of Wudai Mountain tolled. Suddenly, a sound as grand as a great vow came. Li Lingkong wishes to transform like the elephant form, rise from the mountains and tread the sky. Lu Chenju was shaken to his core. This voice, it seemed to be Lingkong Shangren, who had entered the Tao and passed away. Though the sages are dead, their wills endure. Suddenly, atop Wuding Mountain, another spirited voice thundered. Still is the star lord from heaven, indeed a martial immortal from the human world, seeking martial arts in one life, becoming immortal for all eternity. This was the voice from humanity's first absolute peak. One after another, deafening voices arrived, until a dragon's roar broke through the clouds, a domineering phrase sang across the eastern skies. The way of the martial arts is boundless, my body unchained. Lu Chenju's eyes were excited yet complex. Kangshan Dragon King, so it was. Lu Chenju closed his eyes. He was accumulating his own spirit. With all the cultivation insights I possess, with all the endless sweat from my hard training, with my unyielding spiritual will, with my infinite pursuit of martial arts. Behind Lu Chenju, unknown when, a golden ferocious tiger appeared. It calmly looked toward the door, lowered its head, and Lu Chenju rode on its back. The tiger continuously backed away, backing up. At a certain moment it stopped and howled towards the sky. Roar! One by one, stars lit up above the wilderness, adding up to 30 dazzling stars, forming a giant right hand that could cover the sky and sun. It was the power of the acupoint. It was the infinite potential of humanity. Humans need not depend on external gods. I am the god, I am the martial arts. The giant tiger turned into a streak of light, with Lu Chenju standing on its back. He stepped back, pouring out all his spirit, and threw a punch as powerful as a spear, piercing through ancient and modern times. Below the wild sky, a black giant tiger descended from heaven. It merged with the golden tiger. Thundering booms. Lu Chenju threw the strongest punch ever in history, together with the giant tiger, smashing into the door of flesh and blood, and then effortlessly shattered it. Without any delay, nor any difficulties. Just like that, naturally, as it should be. Lu Chenju turned around and looked back, gazing at the wilderness beyond the mountains, seemingly seeing countless martial arts pioneers cutting through brambles and thorns, forging a path through the wilderness. They were envious, emotional, or resentful. They had long vanished in the river of time. But their martial arts will never dissipate. Their descendants, like Yugong moving mountains, with seemingly frail human bodies, inch by inch, forward, ultimately smashing through the ancient door. It was their successive footsteps that formed the path of martial arts for later generations. Thousands of voices in symphony. Suddenly enlightened, Lu Chenju laughed heartily towards the sky. Emulating the ancients, he also produced his strongest sound of martial arts. Heaven and earth as my teacher, mountains and rivers as my friends, the sun and moon as my companions. Martial arts is not alone, and my path is not solitary. 14,000 characters, seek monthly ticket. The last phrase originally from Analects, but Old Tian modified it based on the first web novel I got hooked on, Devouring Starry Sky. Seems like the big shot Fang Chi was also reading this book and had read the previous Wizard. I made a mistake. Memories from over a decade ago got mixed up as reminded by readers. That phrase was from Star Transformation. Well, as long as everyone likes it, all is well. Every time I think of this, I also get a bit excited. // Chapter 289, 199. Push open the door. See the 13 absolute peaks of Dazia. 3K. Martial arts is not solitary. My path is not alone. This was what Lu Chenju was thinking at the moment. The journey of martial arts is the anthem of humanity. The so-called martial artist, battling against heaven and earth, battling against ghosts and gods, refines both body and spirit amidst the tumultuous world, crossing swords and making friendships through martial arts. The path of martial arts is never lonely. Lu Chenju's achievements today rely not just on himself and the martial arts tree. He stands on the shoulders of countless pioneers, the Kangshan Dragon King, the One Shixian, every ordinary seeker of martial arts, whether famous or not. This is martial arts. Lu Chenju's stirred emotions calmed down. Across the wilderness, footprints dispersed, sounds faded away. No ancient predecessors in sight, nor successors yet to come. Only the lingering voice of Lu Chenju remained. One day, when new martial practitioners break their shackles, perhaps they too will hear the sound of Lu Chenju's martial arts in this deserted wilderness and be inspired. The torch passed on, life after life. Lu Chenju turned around, gazing at the tall mountain before him. A winding path stretched straight to the sky, and upon close count, it spiraled 7 times, like a serpentine staircase reaching towards the clouds at the peak, too far for Lu Chenju to see clearly. Beyond the mist, 13 magnificent and awe-inspiring spectral shadows that felt as profound as facing an abyss or seeing gods and Buddhas. His master had said these were the martial arts imprints of the absolute peak strong, forever branded in the annals of time, comparable to the heavenly heart mark. A figure in a green robe swung his saber in the clouds, reviving the sun and the moon with his might. It must be the inebriation of a heavenly immortal scattering the clouds. This was Wan Shixian, the pinnacle of martial arts and the premier exponent of the sword Dao. His famed creation, the blinding brilliance 9-day sky-changing saber, revolutionized the martial arts and led to the establishment of the Martial Arts Association. Another figure in a white robe used his hand as a sword, his long sleeves dancing like blades. There are several at the absolute peak who master the sword Dao, but with such a fierce aura, it must surely be the absolute peak from Hua Mountain Martial University, sword sect nameless. The sword chi roared through heaven and earth, captivating the soul. A figure in a purple robe, a Taoist absorbing the essence of heaven and earth, harvesting the sun, moon, and stars. This is the Dragon and Tiger Grand Sky Master from Dragon and Tiger Mountain. As the ancestral home of Taoism, Dragon and Tiger Mountain has many known as Heavenly Master Zhang. But the Grand Sky Master is unique to that summit. A figure in white, riding a snake-headed giant turtle, breaking waves, dispelling all evil. Wudeng's Xuanwu Taoist, the former headmaster of Zhenwu Palace. A figure with graceful curves, a female fairy untainted by worldly concerns, dancing in the celestial lake, easy to recognize among the few women who reach the absolute peak today. The former headmaster of Kunlun Martial Arts University, the Yachi Immortal. Someone had privately made a ranking of beauties. Yachi Immortal was undoubtedly the first. If not for the overwhelming spiritual sensitivity and majestic aura of these top-level strong beings, Some frivolous men would have already created various fan arts to satisfy their desires. Rumors say, without the will of a martial artist, one should not seek to see the true face of the Yachi immortal, for her beauty could ensnarl the soul, leading to obsession, illness, and a melancholic end. She is indeed too beautiful. All words in this world seem utterly pale in comparison. Only the celestial beings above can truly describe her. Amitabha Buddha. An old monk stood at the summit with hands clasped in prayer, showing compassion for all beings, with boundless Buddhist light rising from the ground. Without a doubt, this was an absolute peak of Buddhism. Huikong, the former Shaolin abbot, now the old headmaster of Songshan Martial Arts University. In the elephant washing pond, a nun in monk's robes rode a white elephant, resting here like the majestic and holy universal virtue bodhisattva at the golden summit. Lu Chenju murmured as he watched this scene. The east shines because of the master, the washing elephant divine nun. At the pinnacle of Mount Tai, amidst a sea of clouds, a figure stood with hands behind his back, as regal as an emperor, gazing far off towards the East Sea. East Mountain Taoist Ling Juding, a modern giant of the Taishan sect. On the coast of the East Sea, a figure in silver armor thrust his spear like a dragon, covering the sea and suspending the sky. The sea-covering Saint Spear, the former headmaster of Magic City Martial University. In the land of the South Sea, a figure in a white robe unleashed a sword strike that split heaven and earth. South Mountain Heavenly Sword, the founder of Nanshan Martial Arts University. Dividing the mysterious into dual energies, Spirit Mountain opens Jiuhua. At the summit of Jiuhua Mountain, a figure made a profound pledge to ferry across all the demon spirits and cult evils of the world. A modern giant of Buddhism from Jiuhua Mountain, Lord Jiuhua. As his gaze wandered, Lu Chenju saw another figure below Wudai Mountain. Behind him stood the virtual shadows of the Xuan turtle, snake, peacock, and white ape, their faces obscured. Grand disciple of Ling Kong Shangren, Four Symbols Master, originated from Wudai Mountain, later founded the supreme divine skill, Ling Kong Four Symbols Fist, and established Dragon City Martial Arts University. This was Lu Chenju's principle. He couldn't help but take a few extra glances. Roar! Accompanied by a high-pitched dragon chant, a cyan dragon emerged from the clouds, its antler-like horns and eagle-like eyes shining with the luster of the universe on its radiant scales. Its appearance seemed to declare something. It was the protagonist of this era, the king of the world. It was domineering and unorthodox, elevating Galaxy Martial University to become the foremost among the 9 great institutions of Tianxia, no less inferior compared to those established Buddhist and Taoist powers. It was a dragon, the Kangshan Dragon King. The day I achieved perfection in my tiger spirit divine fist, when I connected with the divine intent of the tiger form, the cyan dragon with 5 claws I saw closely resembled the martial arts imprint left by the Kangshan Dragon King. The peak of martial arts is indeed potent. A single individual turned countless imprints left by the dragon-shaped predecessors into his own form. What a bold and magnificent feat. Lu Chenju seemed to have an epiphany. Any boxing lineage, whether shape and intent or otherwise, their cultivators' collective martial arts will, invisibly leaves all sorts of heavenly heart marks in the world, like dazzling stars of martial arts. But the most dominant and significant, without doubt, are these marks from the absolute peak of the Tao. This wasn't obstructing the path, but rather adding bricks and tiles. Just at the peak of martial arts, bricks and tiles were immense. One day, if Lu Chenju's cultivation and martial arts could surpass these predecessors, he too could leave a distinctive mark amidst the heavenly heart marks. My heart is the heavenly heart, my intent is the heavenly will, my path is the heavenly Tao. Lu Chenju mused. No wonder the teacher didn't tell me about the scenery beyond the gate. Only by opening it myself and eventually arriving at the base of the mountain to see the marks of the strong at the summit can I profoundly understand the meaning of martial arts, heart-stirring, never to be forgotten, guarding against arrogance and rashness. Truly stepping into the gateway of martial arts, seeing the absolute peak, is like an ant gazing up at the high sky. Collectively, 13 towering figures of the absolute peak, acting like pillars supporting heaven in Dazia. Most of them were somehow connected to the Buddhist and Taoist sects. These Buddhist and Taoist behemoths later established the 9 great institutions of Dazia. For example, Shixian East Mountain Taoist. The 24 top martial arts universities are not all led by absolute peak figures. Some are led by heavenly kings, but being rated as top martial universities, they are only a step away from the absolute peak. Lu Chenju recalled the all-nations martial arts competition held at Hua Mountain. Many old predecessors actually didn't participate in the competition. Wan Shixian, Washing Elephant Divine Nun, Jiu Hua Jun, East Mountain Taoist, and so forth, didn't. Those who participated seemed to be relatively from a younger generation of absolute peak figures, like the Kangshan Dragon King. Talents emerge in every generation. Wan Shixian's strength is not necessarily weaker than the Dragon King, maybe even stronger. But before breaking through the 8th shackles, such beings no longer needed the title of world's #1. Having held that title for so long, he voluntarily ceded it to the Kangshan Dragon King, allowing the new protagonist to rise and inject fresh martial arts blood. This is Dazia martial arts. Looking up at the starry sky, feet firmly planted on the ground, Lu Chenju withdrew his gaze from the mountain summit, focusing now on the path beneath his feet. The 7 spiral stairs represent 7 shackles. I am now at the starting point of the first stair. Only by continuously refining my body and will, bolstering my spirit essence, can I meet challenges head-on, ascend step by step, and eventually reach the enshrouded summit. He viewed the wilderness before him, ambiguous as if it were the beginning of heaven and earth. The sky seemed shattered, the ground like a cracked puzzle, due to the recent emergence of his inner heaven and earth membrane. His next task was to sandpaper, refining his body with true skill and power, enhancing his chi blood, processing the stone tablets of the flesh, and constructing the divine palace of the flesh. Once the divine palace is formed, it could suppress heaven and earth, solidify the foundational stone of martial arts, and create an immensely thick embryonic membrane over the delicate surface of the human organs. This fundamentally strengthens the body. Otherwise, relying solely on cross-training membranes would not provide sufficient defense. It would still be breached by dark force or special techniques. Building the embryonic membrane inside, refining the skin membrane outside. This is the essence of dual internal and external cultivation. Only such a body can be the most flawless and strongest. Lu Chenju looked around. In the wilderness, clouds and wild winds surged continuously, forming chi sea vortexes, bringing sand from the Zhangzhou acupoint and mysterious powers from other acupoints, slowly transforming the martial arts wilderness. This wilderness is indeed the martial arts' inner heaven and earth, the martial arts' internal realm. So, it's true that the imprints of absolute peak strong ones can manifest in the internal realm of all martial artists of Dazia's martial arts. Truly incredible. Lu Chenju marveled. With these 13 divine and Buddha-like figures standing in the clouds, cultists and black knights alike, those martial artists who betrayed Dazia's martial arts must be tormented in their hearts. They are like dark, twisted sewer rats, fearing that one day they will be spotted by an absolute peak strong. Their path of martial arts, forever like walking on thin ice. Lu Chenju attempted to step on the stairway. Hardly had he taken a few steps when an invisible shackle's force restrained his movements, eventually causing his foot to return to its original position. His gaze could see a resting platform on the bending part. It was like a viewing platform on a mountain trail. But he could not reach it. Lu Chenju realized in his heart. Martial artists are divided into 4 stages: initial, middle, end, and final. The initial realm is the first viewing platform. If I can reach the second platform, I will be at the middle realm. The third platform is the end realm. Reaching the last platform, I'll be at the final realm. In a moment, Lu Chenju recollected his thoughts. Looking with his inner vision skill, the martial arts' internal realms heaven and earth diminished. Eventually, the sky and the earth transformed into human muscles. The so-called heaven and earth is just his human body. The so-called stars are merely various acupoints. The so-called heavenly heart is indeed the martial arts will. Lu Chenju opened his eyes, and what caught his gaze was his master's face. Are you awake? Chapter 290, 200 The #1 martial artist of the branch school, 3K. Master Jai's weathered face pulled Lu Chenju back to the present in an instant. With a smile that was not quite a smile, Jai Qiuntang looked at Lu Chenju, observing the sweat on the young man's forehead and the spirit that seemed to have been shocked by the vast world he had glimpsed. Jai Qiuntang asked with a smile, "How is the view beyond the gate?" Lu Chenju came to his senses, looked up at the sky and said, It can only be described as stunning. Jai Chuntong laughed heartily. The last sentence you recited just now was good. Martial arts are not solitary, my path is not lone. To me, it's no less than the sayings of the Kangshan Dragon King. Lu Chenju's face turned red as he hurriedly asked. Ah, teacher, you could hear it. Otherwise, you shouted it out loud, of course we heard. Your mind seems to be in the martial arts internal realm, but in fact, you're just using martial arts internal observation to directly face your own body and mind. It's not like you've run off to an otherworld. I saw everything you did very clearly. Don't worry, we won't casually share it with others. Such words are usually reserved to be spoken when one achieves a ranking at the all-nations martial arts competition. Suddenly, excruciating pain pierced through to his core, causing Lu Chenju to let out a hoarse scream. It hurts. Only then did he realize that his right hand was mangled to a bloody pulp. Not only that, blood was seeping out from his pores all over his body, like a ceramic vase filled with blood that had cracks. He had been too excited just now and forgot about his current predicament. Jai Chuntong said, "It's fine, you just need to sit quietly now. You can take some martial arts supplements to replenish your body's deficiencies, preferably great medicine. The usual medicines for martial artists are like grass to an old cow for your current body. It wouldn't be enough unless you took dozens of pounds a day. I brought you a blood-replenishing pill." Lu Chenju's expression changed slightly. "Teacher, you should keep it for yourself, I'm fine." Jai Chuantong had no source of income and was also striving to break second shackles. That great medicine cost 50 great merit points each. Jai Chuantong was inwardly gratified. "Don't worry, the school will reimburse me. Essentially, it's the school paying for it." All right. After taking the great medicine, the medicinal properties turned into a stream of green mysterious power and flowed into his somewhat empty and dry muscles and bones. In the martial arts inner realm, a spring breeze blew, bringing a light rain that moistened the ravaged wilderness. Lu Chenju closed his eyes and regulated his breathing, circulating the medicinal power. Jai Chuntong's voice drifted gently. "You'll need to rest quietly for 3 days and nights. During this time, the school won't let anyone disturb you. If you run out of blood-replenishing pills, just call for me to fetch some. The school will reimburse the healing expenses incurred during your breakthrough as a martial artist." It wasn't easy to produce a martial artist. Even for a top martial university, it was the same. During this time, they would certainly give their utmost care. "Okay, master, please go back." Jai Chuantong's eyes reddened slightly, and he silently regarded Lu Chenju. After a moment, he regained his composure, took big strides and left the practice room, saying, "Chenju, your master is proud of you." Lu Chenju's heart trembled, and he smiled and nodded. "I will always make you proud." In the living room, several teachers, who waited as if anticipating the birth of a child, gathered around. Li Gizheng wiped the cold sweat on his forehead and asked, "Is everything okay now?" Jai Chuntong nodded. "Everything is normal, went very smoothly." Wu Zun burst into laughter. "The first martial artist of the branch school is born. I'm going to tell the principal." King Shinkang looked toward the practice room and said, "This time he broke the shackles in just 1 hour. Chenju's accumulation is substantial, and with both internal and external cultivation, breaking through the first door was a matter of course." Elsewhere, 2 anxious elders also came over. "Master Jai, is Chenju now a martial artist?" "Yes, from now on he'll be martial artist Xiao Lu." Li Xiangyu clapped her hands joyously, laughing and crying. "See Lu Guoping, my son is a martial artist." Lu Guoping, tears streaming down his face, also sobbed. The history of the Lu family is going to be rewritten. For most ordinary families, having a Hua realm expert was enough to bring glory to the ancestors and be recorded in the family annals, let alone a genuine martial artist. From now on, Lu Chenju had become a transcendent, no longer a mere mortal. In ancient times, he would have been called an immortal master by some unknowing common folks. King Shinkang said, "All right, everyone go about your own business. Lu Guoping, you too should not disturb Lu Chenju either. He needs to rest quietly these few days. Having just broken the shackles, he needs time to adapt to his extraordinary body. Otherwise, at the slightest mistake, at best he would damage the furniture at home, or worse, he might accidentally hurt you." Such incidents had happened before. The elders nodded. Ever since Lu Chenju started on the path of martial arts, they spoke with him only during meals and didn't interact much otherwise. Villa number 32 quieted down. In the end, only Jai Chuantong remained there. He had to wait 3 days to prevent any accidents. Even here, it didn't hinder his practice of stance training. Principal's office. Wu Zun said with a smile. Principal, Lu Chenju has become a martial artist. Wang Changming stood in front of the window, hands clasped behind his back. I know it took only an hour pretty fast. Principal Wang usually spent most of his time in cultivation, but at such a crucial moment, he would definitely expand his perception to observe the condition of Lu Chenju. Sioux City had been unstable lately, and they couldn't afford to be careless. The first martial artist of the branch school was of utmost importance. If Lu Chenju failed, the consequences would be more serious than they appeared. Wu Zun asked, Principal, is there a reward for the branch school's first martial artist? Wang Changming replied, let him choose a divine weapon of master level. Although his main focus is on fist technique, having a divine weapon by his side can sometimes play a key role. Wu Zun showed an envious expression. That's great. Wu Zun didn't have a divine weapon. Most martial artists in Dragon City didn't have one either. For one, there was no suitable divine weapon for him in the treasury, and his own virtual blade weapons were quite good. Secondly, divine weapons were too expensive, pricing at tens of thousands of great merit to start. If he didn't splurge, the money he earned would just be enough for the medicine required for his cultivation, leaving him no funds to buy divine weapons. Moreover, in the present age, the role of divine weapons had been diminished. It wasn't that divine weapons weren't powerful, but that there were cost-effective virtual blades and modern weaponry available. Of course, there was another objective reason. Divine weapons were too scarce, essentially reserved for the martial arts geniuses of the schools. Wu Zun, having just turned 35 this year and recently placed on the hidden dragon list, was rated only as a special level martial arts talent before being delisted, not meeting the divine weapon standards. Unless one was a martial arts genius, to purchase a divine weapon, one needed to have at least the cultivation of a martial arts master, and for martial arts grandmasters, schools typically would present divine weapons as a token of appreciation to win their loyalty. Wang Changming continued. After Chenju stabilizes his realm, you should take him to the headquarters. I've already applied to Principal Li and the Grandmaster Committee, and the request has been approved. The hidden weapon pavilion was in the headquarters. Wu Zun said, good, with the aid of a divine weapon, coupled with the advantages of both internal and external cultivation. Although Chenju is only at the initial realm of martial artist, he should be able to spar with those in the middle realm. Faced with masters of the end realm and the final realm, he should be well enough to preserve his life and be safe. The 4 realms of a martial artist, each step bore great differences. The difficulty of fighting above one's level was incomparable to crossing one rank during the entry phase. The gap between the initial realm and the middle realm, while not as vast as the differences between Bright Force, Dark Force, and Hua realm, was still equivalent to that between the 7th rank and the 9th rank. After all, the minimum Chi blood points for the initial realm were 10, but for the middle realm, it was 15. A difference of 5 points was significant. It wasn't just the quantity of disparity, but also a small range of qualitative change. Before Wu Zun left, Wang Changming spoke earnestly. Now that Lu Chenju has become a martial artist, you and Li Gui need to learn to let go, and you can't let Lu Chenju always live under your protection and that of the school. From now on, he is not only an adult in age but in martial arts as well. Martial artists must experience great trials and tribulations on their own. As long as it's not a deliberate death trap, he should be given free rein on normal missions. Martial artists are not flowers of a greenhouse. The martial arts cannot be honed by merely shouting slogans. The torment of blades and swords, the struggle between life and death, is indispensable. Wu Zun responded with a smile. Don't worry, I won't do that, and I'll talk to Li Gui. Li Gui treated Lu Chenju as his true inheritance, and he was most concerned about this child. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Lu Chenju had taken a total of 3 blood-replenishing pills, and the green mysterious power, like the goddess of spring, enveloped his battered internal organs and bones, akin to the perennial youth of the Emerald Emperor. Coupled with his already robust constitution, his internal and hidden injuries had fully healed. Like an old machine reforged, Lu Chenju was reborn. Opening his eyes, his strong spiritual power and aura spread like a thunderclap, flashing with electricity in the vacant room, breaking a mirror into pieces, an indescribable aura fracturing the void dimension. "This is my aura, my cheapo." Lu Chenju stood up, his body clad in crimson blood armor. This was the outmoded blood shed by the martial artist due to advanced metabolism and hematopoietic function, or in other words, the blood of ordinary people, now coagulated and encrusted on the surface of his body. With a single thought, Lu Chenju's heart erupted like a volcano, his hot blood flowing through the meridians, bringing forth wisps of steam, transforming him into a steam machine. This steam caused his tendons and bones to resonate like never before, followed by a deafening tiger roar that trembled the glass of the balcony ceaselessly. Roar! The loud and resonant roar pierced through the well-insulated villa, echoed across Stone Lake, lasting for a long time, sending ripples across the water and dispelling the cold wind. The blood armor on his skin crumbled away, revealing Lu Chenju's upper body with a golden sheen and the dark luster of his lower body and other parts. While the membrane looks good, it's not sufficiently discreet. Lu Chenju snapped his fingers, his muscles writhed, breaking down the visible cross-training membrane during vibrations and making it disappear entirely, revealing his naturally bronze skin. However, when Lu Chenju touched it with his fist, the membrane reappeared. Without external force, he appeared no different from an expert of internal cultivation. But once attacked, it would reveal the horizontal training true body. This is the return to true nature. After becoming a martial artist, one's control over the muscles surpassed the ordinary. And this was just one such ability. Chapter 291, 201 Extraordinary 4K, asking for monthly tickets and subscriptions. He donned the protective gear and slipped into his training clothes. Lu Chenju examined himself in the mirror. His once somewhat immature student face had also transformed after breaking the chains, carved and chiseled, revealing a restrained maturity. Breaking the chains was a complete metamorphosis. Although it wasn't as easy as for cultivators to completely change their appearance, it did enhance the original facial features. Most importantly, once the spirit was enhanced, a person's temperament naturally followed, invisibly increasing their attractiveness. Martial arts changed a person, inside and out. Top-level powerhouses, unless extremely unfortunate in looks, could possess an ordinary appearance and yet exude a special charisma, leaving a memorable impression, swiftly winning hearts. If someone was already beautiful and became a top-level powerhouse, they would transform into a celestial beauty like the Yachi Immortal of Kunlun, peerless and enchanting. Lu Chenju opened the window to the balcony. He breathed in the wind, sensing the essence of plants with his heart, peered across the lake, and spotted a 3-pound carp surfacing for air 100 meters away. He twitched his nose, catching the scent of stir-fry wafting from his senior sister's apartment. His ears twitched slightly, and the chirping of spring insects in the distant grasses was clear to hear. His body sank slightly, his legs bent, and then he shot up from the ground like a rocket, easily reaching a height of 3 stories and landing on the roof of a small villa. Standing on high, he felt refreshed and said to himself, "Although my senses are not as exaggerated as a grandmaster, capable of encompassing an entire mountain, they have truly surpassed mortals and I can see the minutest details. My normal jumping power is enough to leap onto a 3-story building. If I were to use movement technique to borrow strength, I could easily move between high-rise buildings using rebound force. The steel jungle becomes my modern forest, where I can exercise tiger form to its advantage using the terrain." He landed lightly next to a tree as thick as a wash basin, wrapped his arms around it, his arms swelling with muscle, coiling like a giant python. As he exerted force, the willows shook. Lu Chenju quickly withdrew his strength, lest he actually uproot it. In the old days, there were heroes of the green forest who could uproot willows. I can do the same. If I were to bench press in a gym with fitness equipment designed for mortals, I might have to add all the weight plates in the gym just to get a slight workout effect. Lu Chenju moved with agility, not taking the conventional path, but stepping directly onto the surface of the lake. Each step on the water caused invisible vibrations to emanate, and with this rebound force, the lake was no different from the flat ground. Unless his strength was exhausted, he could keep performing lightweight water floating. He ran from the villa across the lake to the Qi blood measurement room. On the shore, Wu Zun watched the excited Lu Chenju with a smile on his lips. Every newcomer to being a martial artist is like this. He had been the same, not sleeping for 3 days and nights, testing his powers everywhere. Stepping into the realm of martial artists was like entering a new world. This was human nature. Chi blood measurement room. Your chi blood value has reached 10.01. Congratulations, you have become a qualified martial artist. From now on, you are no longer a mere mortal. The cold mechanical voice had changed to a gentle female one. Lu Chenju smiled and said, "This machine really knows how to flatter. Speaking of which, I haven't yet started my true skill cultivation, so how did my chi blood spontaneously increase by 0.01? It could be a side effect of the blood replenishing pill, but 1.5 million only brought such a small improvement, better than nothing." Lu Chenju had heard that after becoming a martial artist, there would be some great medicines that could significantly increase one's chi blood. Some martial artists constrained by their chi blood would try all means to buy them. Occasional use of such external substances to directly enhance chi blood was fine in emergencies. Medicines come with a poison risk, especially those involving chi blood. In the long term, one would ruin their martial arts. Without having tempered their body through 1,000 trials, nor having their willpower forged from experience. Having just chi blood, how could one tame the dragon elephant, master oneself? Lu Chenju felt that with his martial arts comprehension, he wouldn't be constrained by chi blood for quite some time. What he needed to improve was the speed of opening the acupoint. Acupoints must be open to reach the absolute peak. He had only just started. At noon, Lu Chenju was called to Qingshan Kang's house by his master. Soon after, two senior sisters also arrived. Jai Feiyan threw herself at Lu Chenju as soon as she entered, examining him closely. Uninhibited, she tapped his body, feeling the iron wall-like physique. "Woo-woo, I'm so happy I also want to be a martial artist." Jai Feiyan cried with envy. Just a few years ago, she had doubted whether Lu Chenju's sudden enlightenment was real. The truth proved it was not. Less than 4 years to go from a novice to a martial artist. He was clearly a martial bone Dao embryo. Shiruyu smiled warmly and said, "Junior brother, congratulations on becoming a martial artist." Lu Chenju replied, feeling deeply moved. "I've seen the scenery beyond the door, and it's breathtaking." Jai Feiyan quickly said, "Stop, don't say any more, I want to see it myself." Lu Chenju chuckled. "I wasn't going to say anything. If it's in our destiny, perhaps you'll encounter me in unexpected ways within the martial arts inner realm, meeting across time and space." Shiruyu said, "Are you talking about the martial arts resonance of ancient times?" "Yes." Jai Feiyan asked, "What did you say? Damn, I really want to know." Just then Jai Chuantong's voice came through. "Want to know? If you're capable, then go listen for yourself in the inner realm." Jai Feiyan's face flushed, and she declared boldly, "All right then, watch me become a martial artist within 3 years. Speaking of which, Dad, you won't still be loitering here polishing sand when I've already broken into the 2nd rank, right?" Jai Chuntong laughed and said, "You think you are Chenju, don't dream too big, stay grounded." Chapter 292, 201 Transcendent and Extraordinary 4K, asking for monthly tickets and subscriptions, /2. Jai Feiyan rolled her eyes at her old man, as she entertained a fantasy in her heart. "I will definitely use the coolest tone to say, flying swallow sea sweeping, unrestrained, when I enter the martial arts internal realm, and let those who later practice swallow form listen." Amidst the father and daughter's playful laughter, Qingshan Kang came down from upstairs. He smiled and said, "All right, take your seats and eat, and at the same time, I'll talk to Chenju about the next plans. I have just returned from a meeting at the school. The Grandmaster Committee also had some instructions." The 4 disciples obediently took their seats. After sitting down, Qingshan Kang picked up some vegetables and looked at Lu Chenju, saying, "For the past few days, you should have gotten through the adjustment period. The school gives each martial arts genius some guidance and suggestions. They're not mandatory. Everything I'm about to say is just for reference. The specifics are up to you to decide based on the actual situation." Lu Chenju nodded. "I understand. I also have some plans in mind." Qingshan Kang said, "Firstly, as the first self-emerged martial artist from the branch school and a martial arts genius, according to tradition, you can choose a low-grade divine weapon. However, it is only lent to you by the school, not a transfer of ownership. If you leave the school in the future or no longer have use for it, you have to return it to the school. Divine weapons need to be nurtured over generations to unleash their power. This you know." With a look of delight, Lu Chenju asked, Do I get to choose? King Shinkang said. Of course, otherwise getting a divine weapon completely unsuitable for you would be nothing more than a slightly stronger piece of junk metal. What use would that be? You might as well stick with the void blade. All right. The divine weapon is not urgent. In a few days, Mr. Wu will take you to the headquarters. Next is the most important thing, about your future true skill cultivation. Lu Chenju listened attentively, taking notes in his mind. King Shinkang asked, First, tell me, do you still plan on focusing mainly on tiger form? Yes. Good. You should know that tiger form fist boxing has a varied affiliation with the 5 elements, mostly wind, fire, metal, and earth. If you specialize in tiger form then, whether it's cross-training or other fist technique practices you pick up later, it's best to not reach outside of these 4 elements, especially since tiger spirit divine fist leans towards the fire element and is naturally at odds with the water element. I understand what you're saying. That means if my main focus is tiger form, I won't be able to learn any water element moves like those of whales, sharks, fish, and the like. It's not that you cannot learn them, but if the attributes clash, one could easily become possessed and go mad. And 2, it could make your cultivation work half as effective for twice the effort. Of course, there are some treasures and secret techniques that can resolve these compatibility issues, but the cultivation process itself is also troublesome, and heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Even grandmasters and great-grandmasters can't obtain them. After pondering for a moment, Lu Chenju said, That wouldn't be a problem. The elements of wind, earth, metal, and fire are already enough for me to study. If I take up cross-training in the future, it would mainly be in swallow form. Jai Chuntong added, Swallow form mainly involves water and wind, and it's not short on wind-attributed fist techniques. The one I learned is sea swallow breaking wave fist with a water attribute, which isn't suitable for you. Suddenly, Jai Feiyan raised her hand and asked, I have a question. What if the innate attributes of different tiger form fist techniques conflict with each other? For example, the fire element overpowering the metal element. Could someone still study and combine different tiger form techniques? King Shinkang smiled and replied, Good question. Even if they are all tiger form, unless necessary, try to avoid attribute conflicts. However, given Chenju's comprehension, it's highly likely that in the future, he will need to learn all the tiger form fist techniques to reach a comprehensive understanding. Only by studying myriad fist techniques can one develop his own path standing on the shoulders of predecessors. So in the case of tiger form, it's not a big problem. Of course, I mean it's not a big problem for a martial arts genius. King Shinkang did not continue, not wishing to discourage the other 2 disciples. Shiruyu laughed and said, With the brother disciple's supreme comprehension, his achievements will likely not be limited to tiger form. King Shinkang continued, Another thing, with your identity as a martial arts genius, as long as you have enough great merit, you can attempt to study divine skill now. However, the difficulty of divine skill is extremely high, and the Grandmaster Committee recommends waiting until your boxing realm is elevated and your vision and realm are broader. Then the effort would be doubled for half the work. We also analyzed your martial arts progression over the years. Based on your current martial arts potential, even entering the beginner's level of divine skill may take a significant amount of time, let alone truly mastering it. It will inevitably delay your acupoint opening cultivation. Lu Chenju said, Teacher, I currently have no plans to study divine skill. What a joke, he knew his own limitations very well. He had merely begun to clear the common martial arts stages with the help of the martial arts tree and some divine seeds. His next step would surely be to steadily learn true skill. Not just him, other martial arts geniuses also start with true skill. Although divine skill is crucial to becoming a martial arts grandmaster, one shouldn't start too late or too early. The principle is the same as with previous common martial arts, where beginning as a martial arts master is quite decent. Some people start learning it as a martial arts master. Anyway, learning divine skill isn't urgent. During this period, Lu Chenju was planning to accumulate as many divine seeds as possible. By the time he starts studying divine skill, his comprehension will have improved. King Shinkang nodded. Having self-awareness is very important. Martial arts is not about showing off. One can only progress with their feet firmly on the ground. As far as I know, even many top-level experts didn't start off by practicing divine skills. Except for the Kangxian Dragon King, he is an exception. Jai Chuntong smiled and said, The Dragon King has already transcended the three realms, no longer within the five elements. Lu Chenju's heart stirred secretly. Dragon King, wait for me to grow a wave. King Shin Kang said. The last thing is your cross-training. You have a good talent for cross-training, and martial artists can continue to cultivate it in the future. You have joined the Vajra group, which is also an opportunity for you. Otherwise, with your identity in Dragon City, you would not be qualified to learn the divine-level cross-training. He was naturally referring to the dragon elephant heaven-supporting divine skill. King Shin Kang continued. Furthermore, now that you are a martial artist, you don't need to attend the basic pile skill classes anymore. You can just practice at home with the pile skill diagram. The purpose of a pile skill teacher is mainly to guide you before you become a martial artist. Here is Dragon and Tiger Heavenly Pile, a complete explanation, which can be seen as advanced knowledge, akin to an encyclopedia of acupoints. He took out a book and handed it to Lu Chenju. Thank you, Grandmaster. This material is top secret, not to be disclosed. Understood. Finally, King Shin Kang said. By the way, your tiger form fist teacher will still be Li Gui. His fist technique is most suitable for your current path. Besides, you can also choose a martial arts grandmaster as your true inheritor master. As for Jai Chuantong, just keep a nominal apprentice relationship. After all, we are all family, so it doesn't really matter whether it's a true inheritance or not. Jai Chuantong laughed and said, That's right, do I look like someone who can teach you? He even found breaking his second shackles as hard as reaching the heavens. Lu Chenju thought for a moment, then looked at his master sincerely and said, Then I'll listen to master, but you will always be my first master. Jai Chuantong laughed as he picked up some food. That's right, we currently don't have a tiger form grandmaster in the branch school. However, there is a great grandmaster. In the future, you can find a way to pay homage on your own. He was naturally referring to Wang Changming. The next day, Lu Chenju awoke and discovered that the hidden dragon list had been updated. Your hidden dragon list points have increased by 10,000. Your hidden dragon list ranking has risen to 400. Maintain this rank, and each month you will receive a fixed reward of 10 points of great merit. Not bad, even a mosquito's bite is still flesh. Unbeknownst to him, he had become one of the top 400 on the hidden dragon list. Climbing up these 100 names was truly difficult. He glanced down. Lai Fu 410. He then looked up at the rankings of others from Dragon, ascending class 9. Fang Zhu 360. Wan Huahua 354. Liu Xiang 333. Du Gufeian 36. Nangong Ling 24. Being in the top 50 pretty much means one is a martial arts master. In the end, he gazed at the top 3 names on the list. Yuan Gong, Thin Tiger, Mad Dragon. At 4 o'clock in the early morning, the gymnasium, mechanism path. Silhouettes appeared in the eyes of ordinary people like clones, emerging simultaneously in every direction, multiplying faster and faster, whipping up a wind that carried both sweat and mist, lifting the dust from the ground, eventually forming a deep and tranquil fog that enveloped the practice room, quiet and eerie. Within the fog, a fierce tiger could be seen gracefully advancing with the wind. A calm voice pierced through the mist. So this is the true essence of the tiger's shadow and the mysterious trace. Chapter 293, 202 Mystic Tiger Spirit 4K. The tiger's shadow broke through the mist and revealed its true form. Where was the tiger? It was clearly Lu Chenju walking among it, but the imposing aura of the tiger form was so overpowering that, supported by the mist, it gave the common people the illusion that a fierce tiger was on the prowl, akin to the illusion techniques of void things. Lu Chenju pondered. The imposing aura of a martial artist, or the illusion techniques of void things and cultists, these varied methods ultimately share the same purpose, to influence the human spirit to confuse their will, causing their senses to perceive incorrectly. It is said that the spiritual practitioners of Po Suo ancient country are the most adept at this, capable of mixing truth with lies, and using methods such as spiritual control and hypnosis that one can hardly defend against. I recall at the All Nations Martial Arts Tournament on Hua Mountain, there was a match where a Buddhist martial artist fell under the mental control of a spiritual practitioner. In the end, he behaved madly, shouting, "I have become Buddha," which showed a lack of martial arts will. Logically speaking, in Da Zia martial arts, where spirit, energy, and essence are cultivated together, Even if one's spiritual power isn't as focused as that of a Po Suo monk, it shouldn't be easy to suffer defeat through hypnosis. Now that I have advanced to a martial artist, I must also pay great attention to the cultivation of my spiritual will. After becoming a martial artist, the school wouldn't always protect him. In the future, when going out on missions, he would have to proceed alone, facing the strange methods of void things or cultists. The body is important, but willpower and the spirit can't be neglected either. He had protective gear and engaged in cross-training. His physical defense was sufficient, but his spirit, that couldn't be protected by technological means. Strengthening the spirit comes down to a few points. One is practicing fist techniques. Dazia's fist techniques themselves emphasize the unity of spirit, energy, and essence, serving not only to train the body but also to temper the spiritual will. As fist techniques improve, they invisibly drive the enhancement of aura, spirit, and will. Thus, those who can become martial artists generally don't have a weak martial arts will. Even the worst are stronger than entry-level martial artists. 2. Fist theory, whose importance goes without saying. 3. Combat. Martial arts are fundamentally about fighting skills and the way of killing. Only through trials by blood and fire can one forge an enduring and firmly ascending martial arts will. These 3 points are mainstream in Dazia. However, in modern times, with the exchange and integration of martial arts cultures from various countries, the strong ones from top martial universities, imitating the meditation of Po Suo ancient country, have developed another path of spiritual cultivation in line with Dazia's characteristics. Hard intent. Hard intent is also a method of contemplation and meditation, capable of strengthening one's spirit and improving divine intention. In old times, there were some spiritual secret techniques, but they weren't systematic. All heart intent techniques are martial arts of true skill level and above. There's no need for those who aren't martial artists to learn it. Merely practicing fist techniques is enough to sufficiently temper the will. I wonder if there are any heart intent techniques in Dragon City. I should visit the Myriad Volume Pavilion one of these days. The Myriad Volume Pavilion holds all of Dragon City's secret true skills, which can't be accessed by anyone but martial artists or martial arts geniuses. Once you select your desired martial arts from the inside, the school will inform you which teachers know the methods, allowing students to seek mentorship and learn the skills, or they can also self-study. Even a martial arts genius must pay to acquire true skills. Only when one becomes a martial arts grandmaster will they be granted free access to true skills for the sake of integrating them. Crackle and pop. The sound of explosions from within his body brought Lu Chenju's thoughts back to reality. Within his 30 acupoints, traces of a cyan mysterious power emerged. His flesh, as solid as gravel, greedily absorbed this force, emitting a hissing friction sound. Ordinary martial arts can also polish, but the effect is minimal. Tomorrow, I'll go see teacher Li Gui and study which true skill to cultivate next. As his body rubbed together, invisible sparks and currents wildly surged within Lu Chenju, making his bones ever lighter, his flesh as light as falling feathers. The innate strength in his qi was infused with new power, now stronger than before. After becoming a martial artist, his body underwent an all-around qualitative transformation. Ordinary martial arts had nearly no effect on enhancing qi blood. Only true skills could boost it. Another martial arts skill achieved perfection. Lu Chenju pondered his future plans, murmuring. Grandmaster Wu said, excluding the factor of being a late bloomer, if one wishes to break through 6th and even break through 7, they must advance to Grandmaster before the age of 60, the earlier the better. After becoming a Grandmaster, the difficulty of cultivation suddenly increases, so one must leave plenty of time. As a martial arts genius, I must advance to Grandmaster before the age of 50. Assuming I have until 50, I only have a little over 30 years of growth. On average, that's a decade for each realm. Given that it gets harder later on, it'd be best to break through the second barrier within 5 years, leaving some buffer time for overcoming the last 2 major hurdles. Regarding the time for cultivation, as a martial artist, practicing the heavenly pile for 12 hours a day should be sufficient, while resting and eating will take about 5 hours. The remaining 7 hours could be used for practicing true skill and cross-training. The issue still lies in the speed of opening acupoints. Years, 60 months, needing to open from 30 to 150 acupoints. That is to say, 2 acupoints per month. Relying solely on extending the time spent on heavenly pile cultivation definitely won't be enough. The The key still lies in the divine seed. Thinking this, Lu Chenju looked towards the martial arts tree. Tiger shadow mysterious steps, perfection ready for integration. Divine seed mountain mist tiger third rank, hidden within the He Gu acupoint. Mountain lord mist, shadows upon shadows. Effect 1. Tiger form level 3, improves some comprehension of tiger form fist techniques. Effect 2. Tiger skill level 3, enhances some comprehension of tiger form movement techniques. Effect 3. Fog and shadow manipulation. While moving at high speeds, one can gather evaporated sweat and surrounding moisture and dust to create mists, affecting light refraction and generating multiple distracting tiger shadows. Current number of tiger shadows, 3. Chapter 294, 202 Mystic Tiger Spirit, 4K/2. Mountain Lord Mist. Lu Chenju fell into contemplation as he looked toward another leaf. Tiger Spirit Divine Fist, perfection fusion integration possible. Lu Chenju said with a smile. After martial arts, although my fist theory realm is still at the third layer, it has improved a lot compared to before. Hence, this first-class martial art can now be integrated. Black Tiger Mountain Venerate Fist, perfection fusion integration possible. All three tiger form martial arts could be integrated. Tonight, I will practice my fists all night long. Lu Chenju, in a single thought, began the fusion. He executed the three tiger form martial arts with a flick of his hands and a move of his feet, as fluid as passing clouds or flowing water, seemingly crossing through eons to the land of the tiger form heavenly heart seal. This time, he transformed into a black tiger, roaming the primal forests, understanding the myriad forms of the tiger, feeling the martial arts will of the cultivators from ancient times to the present. Body technique and fist technique are one and the same. This was the principle Lu Chenju had understood when he first learned fist techniques. Only when the two are combined does one achieve the complete tiger form. Unconsciously, Lu Chenju's body surface radiated intense heat, like a red-hot branding iron. Sweat did not even have time to drip to the ground before turning into mist within his body, wafting from every pore. The fog in the practice room grew thicker, obscuring visibility to less than an arm's length. The wind was blowing, and the fog was swirling. Kaizi acupoint stored moisture emerged continuously, and the Yemen acupoint also absorbed the surrounding water vapor, forming a perfect cycle. This allowed Lu Chenju to practice from 4 in the morning until 6 without feeling thirsty. Immersed in the heavenly heart seal, he didn't even feel tired until, at a certain moment, the martial arts tree sent a clear prompt. Fusion successful, please name the new martial art. Lu Chenju stopped his movements and stood still, his body temperature gradually falling, the redness on his face subsiding. Huff! Heat billowed out like a dragon's breath. Lu Chenju was terrible at naming. After some thought, he decided to keep it simple. The new martial art is the culmination of all tiger form fist techniques I learned before becoming a martial artist, so it shall be called Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger Fist. I am martial arts, I am fate, it's sufficiently domineering. In his mind, the martial arts tree had already grown to about 3 feet tall, breaking free from its seedling form, with a straight trunk reaching for the clouds, and leaves that shimmered. Following the fusion of the 3 divine seeds, the leaf of the new fist technique appeared. Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger Fist, perfection. Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger Divine Seed, quasi-4th rank, hidden within the Yancha acupoint. Effect 1. Tiger Wisdom quasi-4th rank, enhances comprehension of general fist techniques to a certain extent. Effect 2. Tiger Form quasi-4th rank, enhances comprehension of tiger form fist techniques to a certain extent. Effect 3. Tiger Skill quasi-4th level, enhances comprehension of tiger form body techniques to a certain extent. Effect 4. Mystic Tiger Spirit based on one's own essence, energy, and spirit, condenses a nascent form of tiger form chi. Mystic Tiger Spirit has the following 3 fundamental effects. 1. Tiger Power. Tiger Evil Roar fuses to unleash an attack with the imposing presence of tiger power. Those with weak willpower will enter a forced rigidity state for the duration of one breath, unable to move freely. 2. Substitute. It can automatically protect against evil spirits, blocking spiritual attacks from spiritual bodies. Mystic Tiger Spirit can directly cause real damage to the life of a spiritual body to a certain extent. 3. Possession. Invoking the Mystic Tiger Spirit to possess the body allows for communication with the heavenly heart seal, stimulating the mysterious power of acupoints, and boosting chi blood energy in tiger form, fist's power above a certain level for 1 minute. Effect 5. Tiger Cave enhances the speed of consolidating acupoints above a certain level. Effect 6. Mountain Occupying complex terrain boosts the power of tiger form fist above a certain level. Effect 7. Mountain Ghost exhale mist and inhale as the wind. It can create a mountain fog within a range of 3 feet, creating deceptive tiger shadows, 6 in total. Having reviewed the effects of the new divine seed, Lu Chenju analyzed in his heart. A certain extent should refer to the descriptive effects of a 4th-rank divine seed. The fusion of 2 3rd-rank divine seeds, 1 2nd-rank divine seed, results in a quasi-4th rank, hence it is below a certain extent. The direct fusion of a 4th rank is still too difficult. 3rd rank represents ordinary martial arts, 4th rank represents true skill. The gap between them is significant. The martial arts tree swayed gracefully, ablaze with glowing lights. In the depths of his mind, Lu Chenju had an epiphany. To combine a 4th-rank true skill divine seed, one would need 4 3rd-rank ones or 8 2nd-rank ones, which in turn could be exchanged for 16 1st-rank divine seeds. His fusion of 2 3rd-rank divine seeds, Mysterious Step and Divine Striking Fist, 1 2nd-rank Tiger Supreme Fist divine seed, 1 1st-rank Black Tiger Fist and 1 1st-rank Mountain Crossing Body, totaled approximately 12 1st-rank divine seeds. With this calculation, things became clear. Lu Chenju murmured to himself, 4 more 1st-rank divine seeds, and I'll be able to completely transform the Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger Fist into a 4th-rank divine seed. By then, this ordinary martial arts technique will also transform into an authentic lower-grade true skill-level fist technique. Until it fully evolves into a 4th rank, the divine seed can continue absorbing 1st-rank divine seeds to evolve, but that's only quantitative change, not qualitative. Lu Chenju looked down. The most important Tiger Cave special effect had also evolved from some to under certain circumstances, which was greatly beneficial for the subsequent opening of acupoints. If he completely transformed into 4th rank, his acupoint opening speed would inevitably increase significantly. Lu Chenju's right foot stomped the ground, shooting forward abruptly, his right arm swinging as muscle ripples cascaded like a large python being revived. Innate strength poured into his right palm as he slapped the ironwood pile. Crack! The pile, as hard as steel, was forcibly bent and broken. Lu Chenju's face showed joy. The power of martial arts has greatly increased. A normal strike now possesses more power than the special move, Tiger God Demon Clearing Sky Strike, strong enough to cause terrible damage to martial artists. He closed his eyes, concentrating on the inner scenery land. He reappeared above the wilderness where, at some unknown time, a flesh and blood slab had emerged. This is the meat divine slab, the cornerstone that stabilizes the inner heaven and earth. The grind is to carve more slabs and build them up, eventually forming the meat divine palace, suppressing the nascent inner realm. Next to the slab lay a dark great tiger with eyes like stars. This is my tiger form spirit, the mystic tiger spirit. Lu Chenju had always been obsessed with the evil tiger behind Lu Feng. Now he had finally begun to materialize his own qi. However, to externalize qi and affect reality required the strength of a martial arts master. Right now, the qi was only a method of spiritual attack. After finishing his cultivation, Lu Chenju left the gymnasium. Later, Li Gui came to the practice room, murmuring to himself as he looked at the broken ironwood pile. Did Chenju learn a true skill? No, that's not right, I haven't taught him yet. After waking from his nap, Lu Chenju easily entered the 31st acupoint. Humans have left and right hands, each with a symmetrical distribution of acupoints. Before breaking the shackles, Lu Chenju had opened the acupoints of his right hand, and during the initial realm, he would open the 30 acupoints of his left hand. Hence the step from the initial to middle realm was relatively easy, akin to the difficulty of the 30th acupoint during the extreme limit realm. Therefore, those with decent talent who are willing to work hard can normally rush to the middle realm before the decline of their chi blood, like Jai Xuantong and those martial artist friends he knew, most of whose cultivation was at the middle realm. That was the reason. But from the middle realm to the end realm, one needs to open the acupoints in the right foot area, and the difficulty will increase considerably. This step will stall most ordinary martial artists. Lu Chenju looked at the time. It was now 8 in the morning. Next, let's test the speed of acupoint opening. He practiced pile skill for a total of 12 hours a day, divided into 3 sessions: morning, afternoon, and evening. In the dead of night, Lu Chenju evaporated his sweat and looked at the proficiency panel. Dragon and Tiger Heavenly Pile, 31st Acupoint 1%, right arrow 31st Acupoint 6%. It's much faster than I expected. If I ensure 12 hours of pile skill cultivation every day, I could open 1 acupoint in about 20 days. I haven't even taken any great medicine yet. Lu Chenju was thoroughly reassured. His imagined method of stacking divine seeds was feasible. In the future, he could continue stacking divine seeds, enhancing the Tiger Cave's special effect. As long as the speed of the special effects progression can keep up with the increasing difficulty of the acupoints, he would not be hindered by the acupoint problem, always maintaining a steady state of acupoint opening. A smooth and rapid stride. The path to heaven already lay before Lu Chenju. All that was left was to stack and accomplish it. February 27th. In the gymnasium, during the fist technique class, Zio he looked at the door as the figure who walked with the might of dragons and tigers approached, with an immense presence. Chenju is finally out of seclusion. Chen Zion jokingly slapped Ziohe, saying, "Don't be disrespectful, call him Senior Lu." Chapter 295. 203, The Demon Master Descending from Heaven, Human World Tai Sui God, 3.6K. Old Tian's palms floated up, and he felt a surge of emotion within him. Chenju, congratulations on becoming the #1 martial artist in the branch school. Only 1 acupoint away from completion, Wang Hongdao revealed a resigned smile. It seems I was still a step behind him. He had the advantage of starting first, and he had harbored a slight hope of becoming a martial artist before Lu Chenju. But as it turned out, martial arts geniuses were indeed powerful. Special level talent and martial arts genius, there seems to be only 1 level difference. However, the gap between them was much bigger than that between Class A and Special Level. Lu Chenju looked at the familiar faces he hadn't seen in a long time and said with a smile, "Everyone work hard. I'll be waiting for you in the martial artists realm." For those in the genius class, becoming martial artists was a certainty. Wang Hondo asked, "Chenju, did you find it difficult to break through the shackles?" Lu Chenju thought for a moment and replied, "My experience might not apply to you. From my personal perspective, as long as everything aligns and the foundational skills are in place, it's like breaking through bamboo, effortless." Wang Hondo laughed. "Well, it seems quite easy for you." Lu Chenju then asked, "When will you break through the shackles, Brother Wang?" Wang Hondo replied with a bitter smile, "I guess it'll take me another 2 months." Lu Chenju comforted him by patting his shoulder. "That's fine, keep a level mind and proceed steadily." Everyone watched Lu Chenju's departing figure with envy. Lu Chenju arrived at the practice room, where Mr. Li was already waiting. "Teacher, I'm ready to learn true skills." Mr. Li laughed. "A 19-year-old martial artist, quite impressive. But before we start with true skills, there's something I need to tell you. The title White-Browed Count has been registered by someone else. I just found out in these past few days. It was registered at the end of last year. The user is a new martial artist from Dragon and Tiger Academy named Aoyang Qing." Lu Chenju responded calmly, "A martial artist promoted last year shouldn't be very strong. It's not a big problem. Once I'm done with my current tasks, I'll make a trip to Dragon and Tiger Academy." He was quite fond of the title White-Browed Count. If he could beat the holder, he'd take it back. If not, he would give up on titles and, once powerful enough, directly earn a prestigious one. Mr. Li said, "Well then, let's begin your true skill training today. By the way, if you wish to study ordinary tiger form martial arts, just go to Myriad Volume Pavilion and choose one yourself. With your insight as a martial artist, except for some special martial arts, you can easily learn ordinary martial arts from manuals, secret manuals, and accompanying videos without any teacher. The tiger form true skills I possess are actually just 2 kinds. One is the lower grade true skill, Tiger Mountain River Boxing, which is an advanced version of the first-class martial arts, Tiger Roar Mountain River Fist. Both styles and fist theories are connected. Once perfected, one can comprehend a powerful martial arts killing move called Mountain River Suppressing. Once Mountain River Suppressing is executed, it creates a grandmaster-like aura around you within a radius of about 3 feet. With a mere thought, murderous intent arises and the heavens and earth could turn upside down. Lu Chenju reflected internally. Martial arts killing moves are special skills understood only in martial arts above the level of true skills. In the Western fighters' circle, they are typically referred to as fighting secret techniques. Martial arts killing moves aren't regular techniques within true skills, but are special killing skills realized only after integrating certain moves when true skills are cultivated to a certain realm, often deciding the outcome of a fight in the blink of an eye. These moves are terrifyingly powerful, but also consume a great deal. Therefore, it's imperative to grasp the precise moment to strike to kill in one hit. Lu Chenju hesitated. Tiger Mountain River boxing sounds very powerful, but without the foundation of Tiger Roar Mountain River Fist, won't it be tougher for me to learn? Mr. Lee nodded. Yes, that's why if you have time, you should still practice Tiger Roar Mountain River Fist. Although ordinary martial arts might not be powerful for you, the fist theory foundation they incorporate helps elevate your boxing realm, craft your own martial arts, and advance to Grandmaster. Why are the great Grandmasters of our academy also called leaders of their factions? Because they have mastered most of the ordinary martial arts within their factions. I understand, said the student. Mr. Lee continued. Today, I will teach you a rather special middle-grade true skill called Tiger Demon Tai Sui technique. This technique isn't about fist techniques but focuses on cultivating inner power, primarily refining a type of Tai Sui Sha Qi. Before becoming a martial artist, you relied on fist techniques to improve your Qi blood, but after becoming a martial artist, you rely mainly on inner power. Tiger Demon. This demon doesn't refer to evil spirits but to the fierce and evil Qi of the tiger form. I saw you had a preliminary grasp of evil Qi when you practiced Black Tiger Fist. That was by chance. What you need to do next is systematically master the method of cultivating evil Qi. Use evil Qi to polish and temper your power, cultivating the invisible aura to strengthen the physical body. Saying this, Mr. Lee raised his arms, the palms facing the heavens. Centered on him, an invisible fluctuation spread out, and Lu Chenju was instantly enveloped in an illusion. He seemed to be in a dim and silent night sky. Looking up, he saw a blood-red sinister star hanging high, radiating overwhelming evil Qi. The sinister star fell, staining the human world with blood. It seems a demon descends from heaven above, surely a Tai Sui god in the human realm. The Tai Sui god, also known as the Year Star or Tai Sui Star Lord, controls fortunes and disasters. By mastering this technique, relying on your powerful Qi mechanism and spirit, you can develop the ability to foresee various calamities. After becoming a martial artist, I can't protect you forever, so I want to pass this true skill to you early. It will help you navigate the world safely and protect your life, though it might be hard to learn. But you are a martial arts genius. You can do it. Li Gui's calm voice came through. Lu Chenju emerged from the illusion and looked at his teacher hesitantly, asking, should I start practicing from the middle grade inner strength directly? Li Gui replied, if you were just an ordinary genius, I wouldn't recommend this divine skill to you, but you are not. You are a martial arts genius. Starting from the middle grade is no problem. This inner strength has 6 levels. In inner power martial arts, it's not considered very difficult. Do you know how many levels the famous dragon elephant heaven supporting divine skill has? Lu Chenju shook his head. Li Gui continued. 21 levels. The more levels in inner power martial arts, the more formidable it is. 21 levels are theoretically worthy of being called a supreme divine skill, capable of turning you into a breakthrough 7 powerhouse. Although Tiger Demon Tai Sui technique has only 6 levels, if you can master it, combined with your fist techniques and the foundational cultivation of heavenly pile, the Qi blood generated will be enough to touch the threshold of the martial arts master in the 3rd realm. Once you reach the 2nd level, you will be considered in the middle realm of martial artists, and the 3rd level can bring you to the end or end realm, after which you polish your Qi blood to the current realm's limit. Normally, reaching the 4th level would bring you into the martial arts master realm. Lu Chenju asked, Teacher, which level are you currently at? Li Gui looked back with a reminiscing gaze and sighed. My talent is average. I've been cultivating this divine skill for over 30 years and only recently broke through to the 6th level. Given the difficulty of the last level, it may take another decade or so. The teacher was just being modest. His talent was not lacking. Lu Chenju couldn't help saying, the cultivation of inner strength really is grueling. Li Gui explained, Pile's skill opens the acupoints of the entire body. Inner strength cultivates qi, strengthening oneself from within. Fist techniques strengthen one externally to defeat enemies. The combination of these three is the complete path to extraordinary martial arts, unavoidable. The cultivation after becoming a martial artist was completely different. Lu Chenju could feel it. Only the basic cultivation of heavenly pile was consistent throughout. After thinking, Lu Chenju asked, I have another question. If I start with inner strength when it comes to fighting others, will I lack defensive methods? Li Gui replied, anyone newly entering the realm of martial artists uses the ordinary martial arts they have mastered previously as a transitional phase, then gradually masters divine skill-level fist techniques or other martial arts. Some with lesser aptitude might still use ordinary martial arts even in the later stages of being a martial artist. Being a martial arts master myself, I only mastered one lower-grade divine skill-level fist technique, tiger suppressing mountains and rivers. Most ordinary martial artists spend a lot of time on pile skill and inner strength daily. Knowing one divine skill-level martial art is sufficient. Remember, Qi blood is like the heavyweight class in human boxing matches. When there is a large disparity in the heavyweight class, any technique seems flamboyant and superfluous. Thus, enhancing your realm always comes first. One's power breaks 10,000 methods. With my ordinary tiger spirit divine strike fist, I can still obliterate a so-called great void. Of course, technique is also crucial, but most ordinary people need to make choices. Next, Li Gui started teaching Lu Chenju the Tiger Demon Tai Sui technique. As he demonstrated, he said, the 6 levels of Tiger Demon Tai Sui each have a name, namely Tai Sui facing up, Tai Sui main evil, Tai Sui main disaster, Tai Sui main calamity, Tai Sui main kill, Tai Sui main fortune. The first level requires sensing the innate divine spirit, Tai Sui God, located within the mud pill palace in the human body. Using the power of Tai Sui as a blade, you continuously refine your body, enhancing power. Once the first level is completed, your martial arts inner realm will turn illusion into reality, forming a figure with a tiger's head and a human body, the Tai Sui God, seated high above the firmament in the inner realm. Then comes the second level, cultivating the evil qi of Tai Sui. While refining qi blood, it enhances your 6th sense. The West calls this a fighter's danger sense. The Buddhists call it heart awakening, and the Taoist spiritual sense. Though it varies in name, the principle is the same. It's all about initially using Qi Po to predict an opponent's moves, greatly benefiting you in battles against masters. Subsequent layers, the 3rd and 4th, deal with calamity Qi and disaster Qi, which are advanced versions of evil Qi, constantly strengthening the 6th sense. Upon reaching the Tai Sui main calamity level, you're not only able to anticipate attacks but also sense deep-seated killing auras hidden within some enemies' hearts, and even have a basic spiritual response to certain looming disasters. Understand that these techniques might not directly enhance your combat strength, but they grant you an exceptionally clever heart, allowing you to evade many disasters, thus better preserving your life, and nothing is more important than that. Throughout history, many martial arts geniuses have perished from unpredictable natural and man-made catastrophes. Living a long life, anything is possible. The 5th level, as the name implies, involves cultivating the killing qi of Tai Sui. This isn't the nebulous killing aura mentioned by laypeople, but rather a tangible spiritual force. On reaching this layer, you can use spiritual power to form killing qi in the martial arts inner realm, refining an invisible, bloodless Tai Sui life-cutting blade. The 6th level is even more mystical. Upon mastery, as if divine assistance is rendered, the Tai Sui God in your martial arts inner realm can guide you through a life-and-death calamity, showing you a path of survival ordained by fate, or perhaps directing you to some blessed lands. However, the accuracy of this guidance is not very high. In theory, the higher your cultivation and the stronger your martial arts will, the higher the success rate. Anyway, it's always better than having no guidance at all. This progressive 6-level sequence, if you can enter the 1st level this week, it's a victory. With your talent, you should achieve the 2nd level within 1 to 2 years. Lu Chenju was deeply immersed in it. His teacher, Mr. Li, in his eyes, was like a star lord controlling calamities and fortunes in the human world, his breath stirring the Milky Way. This is the true extraordinary technique. That day, Lu Chenju truly stepped into the world of martial artists. Time swiftly passed, and 3 days elapsed. During this period, The entire Sioux City Dragon Martial knew that the first martial artist Lu Chenju had emerged from the genius class. As Lu Chenju walked around the campus, people frequently approached him for conversations and to get closer to him. Instead, he simply stayed indoors and practiced the Tiger Demon Tai Sway technique. Li Gui also came to his villa for teaching, no longer going to the gym. Though the cultivation of inner strength was not as painful as pile skill, it was also quite monotonous, not as engaging as practicing boxing. March 1st. In the practice room, Lu Chenju performed inner vision on himself. From the right-hand acupoint in his body, a formless evil qi emerged, flowing through his arm and then diverging into his limbs. The evil qi journeyed, refining the flesh it passed through, giving Lu Chenju the sensation of being lacerated and tortured excruciatingly. He was wrong. The cultivation of inner strength was particularly painful. He had not felt it before because he had not yet mastered the basics. Chapter 296, 204 Tiger of the Star Lord 3K for monthly ticket and subscription. Unknown to him, the evil qi circulated through his body in a grand circulation, taking about an hour, then returned to the acupoint in his right hand, completing one cycle. Chenju felt that his qi blood had slightly increased. As expected of the middle-level inner strength, just one grand circulation allowed me to feel a change. When it comes to boosting qi blood, indeed, it is superior to ordinary fist techniques. With a thought, Chenju arrived at the martial arts inner realm, a wilderness above where the earth had cracked open. Only the center where a meaty slate suppressed it remained relatively intact. Here, a phantom, perfectly aligned with his heart's intent, sat cross-legged. It had a tiger head and a robust figure, draped in ancient armors exuding a profound air, its thick arms connected to powerful tiger claws, clutching a massive door-sized blade. Tai Sui Star, Lord of the Human World. Chenju muttered contemplatively. This tiger-headed iron-armored general was the divine spirit born in the Mud Pill Palace after he began his cultivation with the first layer of the Tiger Demon Tai Sui technique, Tai Sui Overhead. Tai Sui God. Essentially, this was a product of the combination of his martial arts will and the mysterious power of the acupoints, entirely different from the gods spoken of by cults. The Tai Sui God's gaze was imposing. It used the meaty slate as a sharpening stone, continually honing its pitch-black giant blade capable of splitting the sun, moon, and stars. Shasha shasha. The sound was incessant. Each sharpening resonated mysteriously, causing heaven and earth to resonate. Chenju felt as if he saw the firmament and the earth healing at a markedly slow rate under this force, indicating that his inner heaven and earth membrane was continuously growing robust, and this was the effect of true skill sanding. Sanding means refining the body, strengthening qi blood, and enhancing power. Chenju withdrew his mind from the martial arts inner realm, looking towards his internal organs. Each organ's fascia was slowly transforming under the force of sanding. What an incredible sensation! If practicing heavenly pile is the foundation of transcendence, then inner strength is the walls of transcendence, and fist techniques and martial arts are the furniture of transcendence. The three are indispensable. Cross-training hard Qigong is the courtyard wall outside the house. It's best to have it as it can prevent thieves. Without it, it doesn't hinder inhabitation. Chenju gradually realized that in terms of importance, indeed, inner strength came first. But everyone practices inner strength, so it's hard to show any differentiation. Having cross-training as an external wall puts thieves outside the wall, immediately showing its advantages. Chenju opened his eyes, ending the grand circulation. Li Gui's gaze met his. How is it? Did you sense the Tai Sui God? Chenju nodded. I sensed it with a tiger head and a human body, holding a large blade. Li Gui nodded approvingly. That's good. This blade is crucial. In the future, when your cultivation reaches the Tai Sui main kill realm, you'll need to condense invisible killing aura on the blade. The day your skill matures is the day the Tai Sui life-cutting blade is successfully forged, and its uses are infinite. Saying that, Li Gui's gaze sharpened slightly, releasing a faint killing aura. In the next moment, Chenju felt as if he had fallen into a demonic pit, his mind filled with void things, and within the martial arts inner realm, a black gold ancient blade tearing through heaven and earth thrust forward. However, the sword disintegrated before it could reach him. Chenju came back to his senses, realizing he was drenched in cold sweat. Li Gui spoke calmly. Did you feel it? That is the Tai Sui life-cutting blade. With your beginner-level spirit and will as a martial artist, if I were to slash with full strength, even though it might not kill you, it would damage your mind and collapse your path, temporarily robbing you of your combat ability. Chenju sighed. The gap between breakthrough first and breakthrough second is significant. Indeed, you are in the initial stage of breakthrough first, while I am in the final stage of breakthrough second. There are too many realms between us, so remember, in martial arts, don't try to fight above your level. I passed on the Tiger Demon Tai Sway technique to you to teach you how to run and survive. I understand, Master. Alright, you've entered the first layer. You can continue to cultivate this technique on your own. Inner strength is similar to the practice of dragon and tiger pile skill. It doesn't have the 6 conventional realms of a normal fist technique. Whenever you can practice the first layer to its limit, consider it mastered. Then, I will teach you the second layer's practice method, progressing step by step. After finishing, Li Gui left. Chenju looked towards the martial arts tree, nearly 10 feet tall. New leaves did not appear on the branches, but, like with the dragon and tiger heavenly pile, sprouted directly on the main trunk. Cultivation technique. Tiger Demon Tai Sway technique. First layer 1%. How long will it take for each 1% increase in this inner strength? Over the next 3 days, Chenju practiced for 3 hours every day, performing 3 grand circulations each day, totaling 9 grand circulations, prompting the martial arts tree to indicate. Tiger Demon Tai Sway technique. First layer 1%, right arrow first layer 2%. Chenju mused. Practicing for 3 hours daily, roughly 3 days, can improve the progress by 1%. Following this pace, I should be able to master the first layer within a year, and my chi blood will meet the standards of the middle realm. With the remaining 4 hours, an hour and a half to practice the golden body skill, and 2.5 hours to practice ordinary martial arts and accumulate divine seed, paving the way for practicing true skill-level fist techniques. Plus 12 hours for heavenly pile, 5 hours for rest. Chenju had filled his day. Myriad Volume Pavilion, also known as the Library of Sioux City Dragon Martial. Chenju often came here to borrow various books on fist theory. It is well known that every librarian at a top martial university is a mysterious figure akin to a monk sweeping the floors, not a position ordinary people can hold. In the practice room on the first floor, Grandmaster Yao, practicing heavenly pile, opened his eyes. His sharp, eagle-like gaze turned towards Chenju. Grandmaster Yao had watched Chenju grow from being inferior to Yao Cheng to now surpassing him, which was truly indescribable. Chenju came to borrow books. Yes. First layer books and the ordinary martial arts fist manuals are available for free borrowing to all martial arts geniuses. There's a computer at the front desk where you can check each teacher's proficiency in ordinary martial arts at Sioux City Dragon Martial. If needed, go find them. Thank you, Grandmaster. This library master really has a cushy job. He earns money without hindering his own cultivation. He headed straight to the shelf with books on tiger form fist. First stack the divine seeds of tiger form, then swallow form and others. Eventually, after making his choices, Lu Chenju temporarily selected 3 books on tiger form fist boxing, Fierce Tiger Stance, 5 Tiger Palm, and Tiger Roar Fist. All 3 were third-tier martial arts. Fierce Tiger Stance focuses on a posture as ferocious as blazing fire and employs brutal techniques. 5 Tiger Palm is tricky, sinister, and venomous. This palm technique is also the renowned precursor to the 5 Tigers life-cutting saber. Only by mastering the transformation techniques of the 5 Tigers can one wield the saber, where a strike brings certain death. Tiger Roar Fist, as the name suggests, is a simplified version of Tiger Roar Mountain River Fist. Carrying a complete set of fist theory materials, Lu Chenju went to the computer. After searching, he found Mr. Li had mastered all 3 martial arts. Villa 32. After checking Lu Chenju's work, Li Gui asked, "Do you want to learn these 3 ordinary martial arts?" Lu Chenju replied, "Yes, I want to start researching fist theory through ordinary martial arts." Li Gui thought for a moment and said, "That's fine. After becoming a martial artist, practicing third-tier ordinary martial arts is much easier. It's not too late to learn Tiger Roar Mountain River Fist after deepening your understanding of fist theory. However, don't waste too much time. You should still learn true skill boxing. If you want to integrate all methods, you can wait until after becoming a grandmaster and extend your life to 300 years. I understand, the student replied. Li Gui took Lu Chenju to the training field. The spring sunshine was warm and comforting. Li Gui said, "Fierce Tiger Stance incorporates a unique fiery fire pile skill. It's best practiced under the noon sun, absorbing the fiery attribute of heaven and earth. Once mastered, it can accelerate blood circulation, ignite chi blood, and unleash the fierce and blazing tiger form dark force. This technique has some side effects, but they are negligible for a martial artist. I'll teach you once, and you should be able to get started." Saying that, Li Gui began to demonstrate. Lu Chenju, with his profound skill in tiger form, immediately followed suit. By the time Li Gui had demonstrated it once, he had already completed it flawlessly. A notification appeared on the martial arts tree. Fierce Tiger Stance, Beginner 3%. Quite easy indeed, Lu Chenju mused to himself. Li Gui said, "Show me once and let's see." After Lu Chenju finished, Li Gui smiled and said, "Good, you continue practicing on your own. I'll just give you some tips and share my experiences. There's no need for me to teach you." Okay. Lu Chenju was also looking for an easy way, seeking a teacher for an introduction. Subsequently, he replicated the process with 5 tiger palm and tiger roar fist, and found his hand movements sharp as a blade, cutting through the air with fierce momentum. It wasn't that the techniques were powerful, it was his physical strength. This exemplified what Li Gui meant by overpowering all techniques with brute strength. Okay, I'll head back now. Goodbye, teacher. Lu Chenju watched his teacher leave, practicing the fist alone. Then he practiced for only 2.5 hours a day, focusing only on fierce tiger stance. 2 days later, the technique had smoothly entered the proficient stage. For a martial artist, third-tier martial arts indeed posed no challenge. Moreover, his specialty was tiger form fist. If he were to practice baseless forms like snake form or ape form, perhaps it would have taken longer. Describing his progress in tiger form as overwhelming would be fitting. 1 week later. After practicing the techniques, Lu Chenju looked towards the martial arts tree. Fierce Tiger Stance, Mastery 1%. Mastery in just 1 week. In the past, he wouldn't even dare to dream of it. Reflecting on Mr. Li's words, Lu Chenju murmured, "The teacher's advice is well intended, but my case is special. True skill level boxing is temporarily unnecessary for me. I'll finish all the ordinary tiger form fists that the school can offer divine seeds for. Once my fist theory reaches the 4th realm, understanding the principles, I can directly integrate and master a true skill level boxing technique that I can use in actual combat. I'll learn true skill boxing when my comprehension improves." Thud, thud, thud. A knock on the door sounded from outside. "Chenju, come with me to the headquarters." Hearing Wu Zun's voice, Lu Chenju's face lit up. "Divine weapon, here I come." He had long coveted the award from the branch's top martial artist. However, Principal Wang told Lu Chenju that this trip wasn't just for obtaining the divine weapon, but also to pay a visit to an almost mythical figure, the 4 Symbols Master. Chapter 297, 205 Master of the Divine Weapon, 3K. Jin Territory. The majestic dragon city rises within Taihang. The mentor and students stand at the school gate. Wu Zun said, "This isn't your first time meeting an absolute peak master, so just speak normally, neither humbly nor arrogantly. Those who have cultivated to the absolute peak of martial arts may be scheming and worldly wise, but most have an undisguised martial arts heart that believes in invincibility. Don't deal in insincerities." The student understands. Along the way, classmates who recognized Lu Chenju greeted him. "Greetings, top scholar. Brother Lu, are you here at the main branch for business?" Greetings like these were plentiful. Lu Chenju politely greeted everyone in return. In old times, sect disciples who were top scholars held great power. Nowadays, the Martial Arts Association has reformed feudal customs. While there may be differences in martial arts, people are still regarded as equals. In the principal's office, Wu Zun knocked on the door and said, "Principal, Lu Chenju is here." "Come in." The mentor and student exchanged a glance, each taking a deep breath before stepping inside. Inside the office, 2 figures sat facing each other. One was a slender, delicate-looking middle-aged man with exceptionally broad palms, obviously shaped by long-term handling of a sword, as if they were the 5 claws of a dragon. The other, however, was an unremarkable bald old man in monk's robes. His breath was slow as a tortoise's, his form agile like an old ape, his aura as dazzling as a peacock's, and his gaze astute like that of a spiritual serpent. Without a doubt, this was the Four Symbols Master, a disciple of Ling Kong Shangren from Wudai Mountain. Although the elder appeared normal, he gave Lu Chenju the impression of facing four majestic, ancient divine beasts, due to having long transcended the six realms of fist theory and having forged his own elephant form path. In Lu Chenju's recollection of the martial arts inner realm summit, surrounded by four giant spiritual beings, this elder's figure began to overlap with the beings in his memory. I have seen the principal, I have seen the Four Symbols Master. Lu Chenju saluted and said. Li Jin waved his hand, and Wu Zun, noticing this, turned to leave the office. Chenju, I'll wait for you at the entrance of the hidden weapon pavilion. Li Jin said. Lu Chenju, this is our first meeting, but I had already heard about you when you were in high school. I didn't expect you to achieve such remarkable results after being admitted, becoming this year's greatest surprise for Dragon City. I've called you here for two reasons. One is to bestow a divine weapon upon you, and the other is that my master, the Four Symbols Master, has just returned to the human world. He has heard that there is a new martial arts genius and wishes to see. Martial arts geniuses are extremely rare. As the true head of Dragon City, the Four Symbols Master still has to keep a watchful eye. The old man examined Lu Chenju without any apparent emotion. After a moment, the elder suddenly said, Good, you will strengthen our Dragon City in the days to come. The Four Symbols Master felt relieved in his heart. After such a long wait, they finally had a respectable martial arts genius. The elder continued, I won't say much else, I'll just give you some simple advice on cultivation. It's nothing more than 12 words. Be steady and sure-footed, prioritize properly, be brave, and make diligent progress. He believed that with Lu Chenju's comprehension, he would understand what he meant. The disciple understands. The elder softly said, Become a grandmaster soon. The situation in the Void Realm is not optimistic. More powerful beings are awakening from the forbidden areas. If we don't contain them, then the future world will see an increase in cults, the Black Knight organization, demon ghosts running rampant, and the ultimate fate would be the world being assimilated and devoured by the Void Realm, turning everything we know into void things. The final words made Lu Chenju's heart tremble. Indeed, those demon ghosts were once humans or humanoid beings. That explained why the demons in Tehu often retained some human characteristics. He couldn't help but ask, Senior, what exactly is the Void Realm? The elder shook his head. Although the human world has been in contact with the Void Realm since olden times, true recognition of the Void Realm has not been many years. I dare not assert what it is. All I can say is that the Void Realm is like some kind of bottomless abyss that devours civilizations and living beings. When we were exploring the Void Realm, we discovered the lost relics of intelligent civilizations, not lacking in being similar to humans. Therefore, some speculate that the Void Realm was once a world similar to the human world with similar civilizations. But one day, it was invaded by an unknown force, causing both the world and its inhabitants to start deforming and twisting. It is not a planet as we know it, but seems more like a subspace dimension that clings to the human world. It is omnipresent, and wherever there are people, there is the Void Realm. The Void Realm is too mysterious. Just focus on becoming stronger. Once you become an absolute peak master, you will have the qualifications to join us in uncovering its mysterious veil and to end the calamity of the three evils. The elder did not regard Lu Chenju as a junior. His tone was such that he treated Lu Chenju as an equal, for every martial arts genius has an unpredictable future. Perhaps one day, Lu Chenju would rise suddenly, just like the Kangshan Dragon King. Lu Chenju solemnly said, The junior understands. The elder stood up, and before leaving he said, Martial artists must undergo essential trials, and as a martial arts genius, you obviously can't hone your skills through trifling matters. Learn as much as you can about the Void Realm, for the day may come when we have to suit you up and send you to battle demon ghosts and mutant beasts there. Hearing this, Lu Chenju's heart tightened. He had thought that entering the Void Realm was reserved for martial arts masters. Even geniuses have it tough, having to come into contact with the more dangerous Void Realm sooner rather than later. After the elder left, Li Jin said, Let's head to the Hidden Weapon Pavilion. The Hidden Weapon Pavilion was a concealed underground facility. Lu Chenju and Wu Zun took an elevator that descended continuously, finally coming to a gentle stop far from the Earth's surface. The modernized silver alloy doors slowly opened, and instantly a scent of time-encrusted decay assailed them, flickers of light sparking in the darkness. On the open ground, an elderly man was practicing his stance on a meditation cushion. Wu Zun said with a smile, "Greetings to Grandmaster Chen Tang. I've brought my student to retrieve a divine weapon." Lu Chenju followed suit with a salute. The man before him was Golden Saber guest Chen Tang, a great grandmaster of Mantis Fist and the leader of his martial arts faction. There were many practitioners of the Mantis Fist, but great grandmasters were few. A great grandmaster represented the zenith of strength in their martial arts faction. The elder's right arm emerged from his long sleeve, broad and flat like a saber, as if he had honed his flesh into a pair of mantis blades, each edge glaringly sharp. Even C9 alloy would be easily severed by these. With a hoarse voice he said, "Wu Zun, wait here. If he wants a divine weapon, he must first pass through the heart-refining channel. If he cannot face this simple test, claiming a divine weapon would only lead to his demise." Wu Zun patted Lu Chenju on the back and said, "Chenju, go ahead, there'll be no problems. I'll be on my way then." Lu Chenju, confident in his abilities, stepped into the darkness, still contemplating the great Grandmaster's remarkable arms. Beyond the rank of Grandmaster, one often developed extraordinary attributes. The heart-refining channel was a dark tunnel approximately 1 li long. Even before entering, Lu Chenju felt a chilling breeze. Standing at the entrance, he saw a blue light screen before him, which reminded him of the assessment at the Void Affairs office. Within the martial arts inner realm, Tiger Tai Sui was sharpening his blade. Lu Chenju's courage swelled and he stepped forward. Instantly, a tidal wave of cold yin power surged from within his Daling acupoint, and in the darkness, unsettling whispers could be heard. "There's a great void." Beneath his high-level protective suit, every hair on his skin stood on end as golden luster emerged from his pores, eventually forming a golden armor cast over his upper body. His golden body skill had also been progressing steadily, his upper body's defensive capabilities monstrously strong. "Come on, see if you can break my golden body." As a martial artist, Lu Chenju was supremely confident. He strode forward, never looking back, until suddenly his gaze shifted to the right, and he saw bloody handprints materializing out of thin air on the walls. Unknown to him, a red blood shadow had appeared behind Lu Chenju. It faintly resembled a human shape, skinny and elongated. The air around it rippled before seeming to split space itself, blood pouring from the rift, soon engulfing the entire tunnel. "You think such petty tricks can disturb my mind?" Lu Chenju's thoughts swiftly turned into action, and his body spun around, displaying the Vajra glaring. He stared down the approaching twisted, screaming blood-red face, his body quivering, his bones and tendons thundering. The roar of a tiger echoed through the tunnel as his fists simultaneously pushed forward. Mystic Tiger Demon Suppression. The blazing punch sent air swirling, creating heatwave-like distortions, and white smoke billowed, transforming into a dragon that filled the space ahead with its presence. A golden mystic tiger seemed to descend within the smoke, its paw striking directly on the shadow. Boom! The blood shadow was sent flying backward, its form dimming as it let out pitiful cries before burrowing back into the wall, not daring to emerge again. It was a great void, imprisoned here by Dragon City Martial Arts University. As a veteran employee, it had an innate sense of the strength of this individual, no ordinary man. If it couldn't provoke him, it would avoid him. Even a great void can feel fear. Lu Chenju didn't bother with it and quickly made his way through the 1 li-long channel. Along the way, some floating-level void things that didn't know their place tried to harass him, but they ended up subdued by the mystic tiger. He passed through the heart-refining channel with ease. Outside, Chen Tang retracted his gaze, saying indifferently, "It seems this skinny blood shadow has been tormented by the martial arts genius quite a bit. Its strength isn't quite what it used to be. It's time to arrange for a new employee." Wu Zun laughed. "Or maybe Lu Chenju is just too strong." Indeed, his strength is commendable. He has begun to manifest the tiger form spirit, but that's still not enough to easily scare off a great void. While they talked, Lu Chenju had already arrived at the hidden weapon room, with 22 glowing items before him. These were all historically significant low-grade inheriting divine weapons, whose previous owners were generally master-level individuals. The weapons of common martial artists at best could only be called sharp weapons, outclassed by alloy void blades in this era. Thus, only a divine weapon could surpass the quality of a void blade. Lu Chenju had a clear goal. He strode forward, heading directly to a corner where a black spear about 1 meter long was displayed. It was engraved with a white-fronted tiger, the tiger gall gun he saw on the official website. Before coming, he had done his research. Among the 22 low-grade divine weapons, none were fist blades, and since he had Mountain Lord, he didn't need a fist blade. Suitable for his tiger form spirit were the saber and the spear. The divine effects of those 3 saber weapons failed to impress Lu Chenju. After some deliberation, he chose the spear, reasoning that an inch longer is an inch stronger. He couldn't go wrong with a spear. There was one more factor in his decision. Lu Chenju felt that spears were cooler than sabers. As for the lack of spear skills in tiger form fist, it wasn't a big problem. After learning the white tiger breaking army spear, he could integrate his knowledge and create a spear skill of his own design.